Hello there. I know you are so excited for this section in particular, I'm sure, because this section is something that almost all of us ladies have dreamt about ever since we were a little girl. Now, I don't know about you, but I had ideas as a kid and as a teenager about what my dress might look like, but I wasn't exactly for sure. Now, one of my first tips I have for you about finding your wedding dress is to find a dress that fits your body shape. Now, I have tried on my fair share of dresses because I was in pageants. I was Miss Nebraska Teen USA in 2013 and I was Miss Nebraska USA in 2017. So, obviously, when I was preparing for Miss Teen USA and Miss USA pageants, I had to find the perfect dress for me. Now, I was new to these fancy formal gowns, so I didn't know exactly what would be best for me. But as I tried on so many ideas and body type gowns, I found what suited my body and what didn't help my figure out. So I really encourage you that as you begin trying on wedding dresses to be patient with yourself and let yourself explore. Try on different styles of dresses. You may try something on that you never thought in a million years that you would like, and it ends up being your favorite. You never know. But you also may try on the exact style that you originally thought you would want and thought you would like, and might be like, yikes, that is not what I thought I would look like in that. And so just find a dress that suits your body shape really well. Like I know for me, I really loved the mermaid style, which is tighter on the body and then flares out at the bottom. And that really works well for my body type. So I chose that style for my Miss Teen USA dress, my Miss USA dress, and my wedding dress. So go figure. But when you are selecting a wedding dress, there are so many factors and details to look at and look for. So you may have a certain silhouette type that you're looking for, or a certain neckline. Like you may be going for strapless. You may be going for spaghetti straps if you want a tiny bit of support. You might be going for like a cap sleeve. You may even want full length sleeves of lace or something like that. So there are so many necklines as well as straps and sleeves like I just talked about. And then of course, so many different types of fabric, let me tell you. And you won't even believe this one. There are so many types of colors of wedding dresses as well. Yes, colors. All right, what do I mean by that? If you try on a dress and you order it, please clarify with the person taking your order that you are indeed getting the color ordered that you want. What do I mean by that? There is white, there's ivory, there's off-white, there's champagne, and you just don't want to be stuck with a color that you don't want. So just clarify that specific detail. And you can have the dress consultant in the shop show you comparisons. I'm sure they have samples in the store of different colorings of dresses that you could put side by side. You can even try on those different types of dresses in different colors so you can see what you like the best. So my other piece of advice is to only look at dresses that are in your budget so you don't get your hopes up and so high and then ultimately you're like, I can't afford this, and then you get your dreams shattered. That's the worst feeling. So try to only look at dresses that are in your budget if you're paying for the dress, or in your parents' budget if your parents are paying for the dress. You just don't want to get your hopes crushed. So that is something that I highly recommend. Also, I would recommend bringing similar height of heels for trying on dresses, because if you have an idea of the height of the heel that you may be wearing on your wedding day, then bring that to the dress store when you're trying dresses on. That will help you get the full picture of what you would look like in that dress. Obviously, you do not have to have the high heels already picked out that you're going to wear on your wedding day, But if you have an idea of the height of heels that you're comfortable with, or maybe you're going flat shoe, that's totally fine, then wear flats. So that way you have a better visual understanding of what you would look like in each particular style of dress. So I would highly recommend starting shopping for your wedding dress at least, this is, do not go less than this, at least 6 months before your big day. Why? Turnaround time for wedding dresses can be 12 weeks, roughly. It can be even more. It depends. But you want to make sure that you have time for your dress to be ordered, for it to come in, and for you to have enough time to have alterations done to it. So, yikes, I know, that's like, I gotta get on this right now. It's best, definitely, to get your wedding dress ordered, because it can take a lot of time for it to come in, and a lot of people don't know that. So, I would highly recommend maybe not taking your whole wedding party with you if you've got a large wedding party when you go to try on wedding dresses. Now, why do I say that? I know you're picturing all those wedding shows where they have like a million ladies with them, their mom, their sister, their best friend, their whole wedding party, their future mother-in-law. You know what? That's fun and it's awesome, and totally get together with them to celebrate. But on something as important as your wedding dress, this is going to be very complicated because there are going to be so many opinions, and oftentimes opinions clashing. So this is your wedding dress. This is about what you like because it's your special day. Obviously, you trust and value the opinions of all these ladies that you want to invite, but they may have a completely different taste and style than you, and this is going to be really complicated, especially if you want everyone to be happy and you're a bit of a people pleaser. This is going to make it a lot more of a challenge to find that winning dress. You don't have to pick a dress at the first shop that you go to either. Definitely take your time. If you're not finding something that you like, go to another store. You could even go to several stores in a day. I highly recommend making an appointment as well. That way they know you're coming and they can expect you. Actually, you may even have to make an appointment now that I think about it, because they will have a dress consultant on hand ready to meet you and help you with your needs. They may be there to recommend dresses. They will pick them out for you. They may help you even get in them, tie you, zip you. So they're very, very helpful. So definitely call ahead, make an appointment. They may be all booked, and that would be a shame to get your whole girl group together and then you can't even get in. That would not be fun. So like I said, dresses take a lot of time to come in. You also want to plan ahead and have enough time for alterations. Something else you can keep in mind is that accessories can completely change the look of a wedding dress. Completely. So I think that it's an okay idea to splurge a little bit on wedding dress accessories because you can use these again. So obviously I'm talking about like the shoes and the earrings that complement the look. You can end up wearing those things and using them in other outfits. Now, a sash on a dress also makes a huge difference. I'm talking about the belts. Putting a rhinestone belt on the waist of a dress alters the entire look of the wedding dress. I've seen it make the look. Like some girls haven't been sold on the dress, and you put a sash or the belt on there and they're like, oh my goodness, this is it. It can totally alter the entire look. Now, when it comes to the veil, I have a different opinion. Veils are very expensive. I was so shocked at how pricey they can be. I don't know, I think they can be like between $200 and $300 sometimes even. So if you have a friend that's recently gotten married, ask them if you can borrow their veil. Obviously, you'll want to check and see if the style looks good with your dress. But if you can borrow the veil for a day, that would not be a bad idea because they are very overpriced in my opinion. Ooh, this one's fun. Some wedding dresses even have detachable trains. Yes, it's a thing. Look it up. It is so awesome because you can have, honestly, a reusable dress in your wedding dress also. Like, it's a completely different dress it looks like, but you're only spending the money for one dress. So comfort is key. If a train honestly just annoys you, having a detachable train is a game changer. If you can take that train off and it's easier for you to walk around, by all means, go for it. But is it practical? Is what I also want you to ask about some trains, because some ladies go all out with their trains and they may be, it seems like miles long. Is that practical for you to want to walk around your wedding reception and dance all night in a dress that has a train that's miles long? So that's why I mentioned having a detachable train, if that's an option for you. Some zip off, some button off, some snap off. It's just a really cool idea. If your train is not detachable though, you can always have your seamstress or alterations gal help you be able to hook up the train. So they can put eyelets on your train and hook it up in a way that it looks like your dress was made that way, but instead it is held in place by those eyes and hooks. So it essentially takes the train off the floor and it's like layering your dress. So have them hook up the train. Right after your ceremony, you can have your maid of honor or your mom or your entire bridal party help you hook up your train, so that way it's easier for you to walk, easier for you to get around, and way easier for you to dance in. No one's going to be stepping on your train. So when you are picking out a dress, I want you to think ahead, have some foresight, because think about the fact that you'll be sitting down in your dress and eating a meal more than likely. You'll be sitting down in a limo or a car getting from the wedding ceremony to the wedding reception. Also, think about the fact that you will be dancing all night. Like I talked about the train. Is it practical? Is it a practical length? Also, if it's strapless, are you going to be hoisting it up the whole night if you're dancing? Like, that's something to think about. Straps, I highly recommend. That way you're not tugging at your dress the whole night. Is your dress too tight that it's going to be uncomfortable for you to sit or eat? Like, are you going to be able to breathe? Because having oxygen on your wedding day is important, as you may have some nerves. If it's too long or too poofy, like, these are all things to take into consideration. Also, if you are still opting for a strapless option, something that you can do is invest in double-sided sticky tape, body tape it's called, that can help your dress stay in place. If the tape is still not strong enough, you can get what's called body glue. You're like, what is body glue? The pageant world, if you're a pageant girl, you know all about body glue. The body glue helps your swimsuit stay in place when you are competing for the swimsuit competition in a pageant, so that you are not getting a wedgie and your swimsuit's not hoisting up in the wrong places. So body glue definitely works. Your dress will not be moving, and I highly recommend getting some to try it if you are having a strapless dress or a dress that cuts in, that you just want to make sure it stays in place and that nothing's fallen out. So that's something to look into as well. Wedding dresses, honestly, this is completely up to you and your budget. They can range from $300 to the upwards of $10,000 or even more if you are going all out and like customizing or at a fancy store. So I can't tell you what to spend on your wedding dress. That is up to you. and up to your budget, because your budget is important. Definitely is. So fitting wise, more than likely on average, you'll probably have about 3 fittings. The first one, roughly 6 months before your wedding. And that may be the first time that you are getting a wedding dress to try on. Hopefully you can get a wedding dress, try them on for the first time more than 6 months before your wedding, but that may be the first time you're trying it on. If you have thought ahead and have more of a time frame that you can work with. So 6 months before your wedding is roughly the first fitting. Hopefully you aren't altering your dress a whole lot. I recommend that you get a size that is close to what you are now. You don't want to go too incredibly smaller than what you are now, because it's going to be a lot harder, it's sometimes impossible to add fabric and make the dress look good. It's always easier to alter it to be tighter. You can't really expand dresses, so that's why I recommend getting a size that's maybe the size you are now or a size up, because dress brands are all different and the sizings are all different. So make sure you speak with your dress consultant and ask them how this brand's sizing normally runs. The second fitting might be about a month before your wedding, and then the third fitting might even be as close to a week before your wedding. It's all it depends on the dress shop that you go to. It depends on how many alterations you're needing. It depends on so many different factors. So it's not like this is the answer for all brides. This is just an idea that you can have up to 3 fittings, or maybe even more, depending on if you need more. But I do have some questions for you to ask the dress shop. So the first one, definitely be sure to ask this: how long will my dress take to come in once I place my order? They should be able to give you a good estimate on that. Also, it's helpful just to know, that way you're not freaking out if it's been a month and your dress hasn't shown up yet. You're like, no, it's probably going to take 3 months or more for your dress to come in. Definitely ask them if alterations are included in the total cost of the wedding dress. Some shops, alterations are included. What a blessing. Some shops, they may have an in-house or in-shop alterations gal, but that fee will be on top of the cost of the wedding dress. It is just wise to ask this question so you know what to expect. And that way another cost or another expense isn't piled on top of you and you're shocked. So alteration costs, I really can't answer that for you, because it depends on your dress. It depends on what size of dress you order, down to what size you need it to be for your wedding day. It depends on the detailing of your dress as well. I know also, I want to mention this, some brides, they think they're going to lose like a bazillion pounds before their wedding, so they want to order a really small wedding dress. So if that's the case for you, by all means go for it if you want to, but that can also be really risky if you don't in fact lose that weight, if it's harder for you to lose it. So just keep that in mind and be smart and listen to the wisdom and advice of the wedding dress consultant. They may have ideas and suggestions about what size they think you should order for that particular brand of dress that you are ordering. You should definitely ask the dress shop if alterations are not included in the cost of your dress. Do they have someone that they frequently work with and recommend? That's important, because obviously they are in the wedding dress business and industry, and if they don't include alterations, brides would frequently have this question, and it would be wise for them and wise for their business if they could send brides to an alterations gal so that their brides are happy. So I guarantee you they probably, more than likely, have one, probably more, alterations, seamstresses that they would recommend. So ask them who they frequently work with and recommend. It saves you the research time, and obviously their opinion would be probably very accurate since they work with brides all the time. You can also ask them if they have any idea how much the alterations on this particular dress would cost. Like I said, they work in the wedding dress industry and they deal with this all the time, so they would probably have a fairly good estimate for you on potential cost estimates for this dress. Totally ask them when your full payment is due. So more than likely, you'll have to put a deposit down for the dress, but I don't think it's super common for you to have to pay for the whole dress up front. Some shops offer payment plans as well. If you can just pay for the whole thing, get it done, get it out of the way, that way you don't have to think about it, but actually ask them a date on when it will be due, that way you can budget accordingly. Ask them how many fittings you'll need, or if there is an extra cost per fitting. So that's a great question to ask, as well as when they recommend you schedule your fittings. Maybe you can get on the books already. Maybe they will say wait until your dress comes in, but ask them when they recommend you schedule your fittings or how many you would need. A great idea for you if you're trying to save some money is you can ask this bridal store, this dress shop, if there are any trunk shows or sample shows coming up. This is a fantastic way to save some money. And then also ask their store, ask and see if their store offers any discounts on bridesmaid dresses and accessories. Now, this is a great way to save some money for your bridal party, because normally if you purchase your wedding dress at their store, they will give you a discount on subsequent bridesmaid dresses purchased from their store as well. So I think they normally offer like between 15 and 20% off a dress. But if you think about it, some of those bridesmaid dresses can be up to $150. So 15 to 20% off of those is not a bad deal. So ask them if they have any discounts, sales going on, or discounts on bridesmaid dresses, or flower girl dresses, or accessories for you, totally. All right, the last thing I want to address is ways to save money, because yes, I know you've probably never spent this much money on one dress, and you won't ever again, I know. So sample sales are really a great idea, because these are gently worn sample dresses for 50% off or more. So these may be styles that they've put out on the floor. These may be dresses that models have worn and they're just trying to sell them. They can give you some hefty discounts for sample dresses. Another option is to rent a dress. Now, this may not appeal to you at all, that is okay, but this may appeal to some brides out there. You can actually rent a wedding dress, believe it or not. I have heard of options called Rent the Runway, and also another one is called Borrowing Magnolia. So hopefully they're still in business and this doesn't date the video, but it's a great idea to research. Now, maybe there are new options that have popped up. So renting a dress is much more feasible for your budget, possibly. So don't throw that option out. Another idea for you on ways to save money is to buy a dress right off the rack. So you may be that very lucky bride that finds a dress on the rack in your size. Props to you, that is awesome. And buying off the rack normally is so much cheaper, and a perk of that is you do not have to wait for it to come in. So you don't have to wait that 3 months or more for that dress to come in, and this is an awesome option if you're on a time crunch and you have a very short engagement and don't have a whole lot of time for waiting for a wedding dress to come in. So yeah, buying off the rack is a great option. You can also purchase purchase a used wedding gown. Obviously, this may not appeal to all, but it may to some. You can purchase a used wedding gown because, let's face it, a lot of brides, they wear it for their wedding day and never again. Some keep it, obviously, for memorabilia, but some, they may just want to sell it because they aren't going to wear it again. So you can purchase a used gown. There are sites where brides sell their wedding dresses, and some of those are called Nearly Newlywed, and another one is called Once Wed. I'm sure on social media there are also options of wedding dresses for sale. It's just an idea that I want to throw out there, as I want to give you a full, well-rounded picture of every detail you can possibly think of and every idea you can possibly think of. And the last idea is seasonal sales. Sometimes bridal stores have seasonal sales, so just be on top of that, and you can always ask the manager of the store if they have any seasonal sales or if they typically do. So no matter what dress you choose, I hope that you feel like a princess in it. It is honestly one of the best days of your life. Obviously, accepting Jesus as Lord and Savior of your life is, in my opinion, the best day of your life. But getting married, easily the second. And so you totally want to feel like a princess on your wedding day. You want to feel beautiful. And so make sure that you pick a dress that you like. Not what everyone else likes, but what you like. Because you are the one that, it's your special day. You get one wedding day in your whole lifetime. And you want to make sure that you can look back on your wedding pictures and feel beautiful looking at them. Like, you don't want to hate your dress just because you're trying to make someone happy. Pick a dress that you feel beautiful in and that you love. That's what's most important. So hopefully this got your brain thinking a little bit about wedding dress details. If you're on a time crunch, get hopping. Start looking at wedding dresses, because yes, it does take time for them to come in. And I hope that this helped someone out there. And you can totally start looking on Pinterest for wedding dress styles. You can Google images for wedding dress styles and designs. That way you have a little bit of an idea when you go in to start looking for dresses. And it also definitely helps those wedding dress consultants have an idea, or at least a better idea of what you're looking for. And that will be extremely helpful for you, because obviously when you walk into a wedding dress store, there are so many dresses that it can be very overwhelming. So if you have time to brainstorm ideas of what you think you might like, take some screenshots, bring in some pictures for them as a great reference point. So thank you for watching, and please feel free to head to the next section.